Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing this fine Monday? I hope you had a great weekend. And Michelle, I saw in the Zoom chat where your internet is down, and I am so sorry for that. Is it weather related, or do you think there's just a glitch? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you that are lurking, thank you so much as well. I'll try to keep you up with what's going on in the chat, but sometimes that thing just bebops through there pretty quickly. So if you're here, please don't forget to leave me a little thumbprint. And if you're catching the replay, I realize there's only 24 hours in the day and there's so many of us to watch. And not only that, but, we got other things to do, right? But thank you so much for coming in and doing the replay. Just be sure you leave me a thumbprint and give me a little wave to let me know that you were there. Hello, Laura and Connie, sweetheart. How are y'all doing today? I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope today's starting out pretty good for you. It has for me. Yeah. The weather wasn't as cool this morning as I would have liked for it to have been, but it was still pretty nice. We're supposed to be up into the mid to upper 80s today and tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening, they're saying we're supposed to have rain hitting on Wednesday and have it for a couple of days, then let up a little bit, and here it comes again. So, man, I'm really hoping that we get some rain. Not that I'm going to care for the mess of the dogs tracking, footy prints in and out, but I'd much rather have the rain. Let me see. Oh, I know, Laura, you're waiting for a package that was supposed to be delivered over the weekend. Well, I do hope that it arrives today. I truly do. So as you're coming in, go ahead and let me know what it is that you're sipping on, if you're working on a project or if you're just taking a break. And if you want to, you can go ahead and type the word weather. Be sure you put a space and then type in your postal code. Let's see what Arlington's weather is. Come on, Arlington. Good morning, Diane. How are you today? Yep, see, there it is. I knew that. Weather conditions here in Arlington, Texas. We are at 72 degrees already. The wind is blowing out of the south at 12 miles per hour. That kind of confirms it with those little tree limbs out there. And I have 84% humidity. No wonder it felt a little muggy. Tishomingo for Connie. We're at 54 degrees and the wind is blowing from the east and humidity is at 43. Good morning, Amy, sweetie. Oshawa for Laura. Showers are in the vicinity with a temperature. Oh my goodness. Woo! You're pretty chilly. 34 degrees or 1 degree Celsius. The wind's blowing from the west-northwest at 11 and you have 72% humidity. Goodness. Goodness. Amy, I hope you're doing well today, sweetie. Oh, Diane, she says, I am having coffee, staring at my hook and yarn, trying to stay awake. Oh, goodness, girlfriend. Well, don't fight it. If you need to go take a nap, go take a nap. And let's see, for Amy in Princeton, conditions are partly cloudy with the temperature. Oh, Got Laura beat, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds blowing from the east at 5 miles per hour, and you have 63% humidity. Goodness. Well, I am still sipping on my first tumbler of coffee. I can't believe that because usually by now I'm on the second one. But I've been crocheting already this morning. Got started on my little gnomes and right off the bat on one of them, I was like, well, lady, I don't know what you were thinking whenever you crocheted this up, but I don't like this. So I substituted one of her stitches, but that's okay. I mean, as long as it has the overall look of hers, I'm sure she wouldn't mind, but I just wasn't feeling it. Have you ever done that? Started a project of someone's that you really like and you get to work in it and it's like, I don't like this. I mean, you still want to do the pattern, so you go on the hunt to substitute in a different stitch. Yeah, Well, I didn't really substitute in it. Well, yes, I did. Yes, I did. She called for a crab stitch, which, you know, guys, it's one of my most favorite stitches to use to finish off a project. But she wanted it right in the middle. And I think what she was going for was to give it a little texture and representation of a belt. But it wasn't, yeah, I wasn't feeling it. It just didn't look right. So I just substituted it with a good old single crochet. And if I feel like it needs a belt, I'll just crochet one and attach it on there. Or who knows, maybe I'll just get me a little strip of vinyl and stick it on there. But anyway, so I've already been crocheting this morning. Knocked one little gnome out last night, or at least his body, and trying to get the other one done. I'm trying to do them both, you know, at the same time because they're using the same color yarn. So it's like, why not? So that's what I'm doing. So what are the rest of you working on, if you're working on anything? And Connie, I'm going to tell you, since I haven't seen you in a day or two, this second cuff that I put on here, I don't know how I did it, but I had like, and I'm really glad that I stopped to do this. I had like 6 extra rows. So that means that I stuck my hook in somewhere where it wasn't supposed to. So I had to rip the whole cuff out. Yeah. So this time I am paying a little bit more attention. And of course, too, yeah, I don't know what I did. Honestly, I just don't know what I did. But anyway, it's all right. Good morning, Rebecca. How are you doing? I've got a little bit of sunlight here. Diane saying it's a struggle this morning. I couldn't sleep. Oh, my goodness. Well, I got my usual 4.5 hours sleep in, because it was after midnight by the time I put that gnome down and said, okay, you're at a point where I can stop with you. And I did. I was back up at 5 o'clock. My eyes have been rolling for a week now. Oh my goodness. Think my thyroid is acting up. I had enough sleep, but I could sleep for 24 hours if I allow myself to. Oh, you know what? I have done that before, where I have slept, I mean, a whole lot, and I get up feeling worse than I did whenever I went to bed. So I would much rather complain about only getting 4 or 5 hours worth of sleep at a time, because I can always take a nap, than to get overtired from too much sleep. And I am not one that can just lay around in the bed. When my eyes open, I got to get up. Hello, Lana. How are you doing? Her puppers had her up early this morning, but they were able to go back and take a little nap. So I love the little pictures that she sends me of her babies. Really, I think they're her sons, but they claim her as mama. So, right. As soon as I wake up, I've got to get up. So, as you notice from the title today, party season is upon us. I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, we've got Thanksgiving coming up in less than 2 weeks now, a week from this Thursday. And then, oh my goodness, here we come with all the Christmas parties. So I just want to know. Let's see, Lana said, I'm mom to Thor and Nana to Argos. Rebecca, I have a thyroid thing too. Maybe that's it. I usually could get in at least 4 or 5 hours. I don't know, but I can't just lay around either. I hurt too bad if I lay too long. That's the way I am. I start hurting in places that I didn't know I had places to hurt. But anyway, as I was saying, it is party season. And more so at this time of the year, I think, than, all right, I have to stop here a minute. I think I went too far over. There we go. Not there. we get invited, whether it's to family for family gatherings or church socials. Maybe you belong to a ladies club or a stitching club, just whatever. It seems like at this time of the year, we try to be a little more inclusive and celebrate another year gone by and that kind of thing. So I was just wondering, do you have that one specific dish that you take everywhere? And quite frankly, everyone expects you to bring it. For my mom, it was always her fried chicken. I don't care what we were celebrating. Everyone expected my mom to bring fried chicken because she did it the old fashioned way. Flour, let's see, what is it? The wet mixture, dry mixture, wet mixture, dry mixture. And we got talking about this the other day, my son-in-law and I. My mother cooked in good old lard. No Crisco, no vegetable oil. It had to be that good old lard. And I think that's why everybody, loved Mama's fried chicken. It had that really nice crispy crust on it coming from the double dipping. And there's just something about frying food up in lard that just gives it a crispness that nothing else does. Of course, my doctor, I'm sure if he was to hear me talking about frying things, number one, and then frying it in lard too, knowing that youngster, he'd be down on the floor. My go-to dish is any kind of dessert. I would much rather make a pie or a pound cake. I have at times made I don't want to call it what is it? The broccoli rice casserole dish, because normally mine has more than just broccoli in it. I like to load it up with vegetables. So mine is more of a vegetable rice dish. Yum, fried chicken. Yeah, you starting to get hungry? Yeah, that fried chicken was always the hit. And like I said, it didn't matter what we were celebrating. Everyone, especially our Sunday school classes would take turns as to who was responsible for planning the monthly potluck after church every Sunday. Well, not every Sunday, but once a month, our church would get together and have a potluck. And so it didn't matter what Sunday school class it was planning it. Always on the menu was Mother's fried chicken. And it didn't matter if there was a theme or not. You can eat fried chicken for breakfast. Well, I do have to ask this, Rebecca. Do you warm it up or do you eat it cold? Because I don't mind eating it warmed up, even reheated, but I cannot eat cold chicken. Cold fried chicken, and put it that way. And my husband can eat it cold. You can just reach over there and get it out of the refrigerator and start chomping on it. Same thing with pizza. Ugh. For me, that stuff's got to be warmed up. Both ways are good. Well, I'm just going to say you're living on the wild side. That's right. Connie is having a turducken for Thanksgiving this year. Oh, sweetie, it's going to be fine. Just follow the directions. But there's always the classic dishes, especially at Thanksgiving. If you do the traditional Thanksgiving dinner, you've always got to have the green bean casserole, of course, turkey and dressing, hot rolls, giblet gravy. We always had to have mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top, and my oldest brother's wife made this sweet potato casserole. Oh my goodness, guys, it was awesome. Oh goodness, Connie. Good morning, Magic. How are you today? I've never been one to follow directions too much. Well, Magic, I want to know what is your go-to dish to take to parties or family gatherings? Because like we've been talking about here for the past few minutes, it's getting to be that time of year. That's right. You cannot have turkey and dressing without the giblet gravy. In fact, for me, guys, just give me some giblet gravy and the cornbread dressing, and I'm good. Something you buy at the store? Well, if that's your go-to dish, girlfriend, do you just buy it already made, or do you take it home and dress it up a little bit and then take it? Magic says, I can't cook since but I was never one to cook anyway. Well, one of my daughters is very, very fortunate that she married a guy that does love to cook. And he's not too bad a cook. I mean, honestly, he's not. He just every once in a while, as far as I'm concerned, goes off the rails a little bit. Yeah. Rebecca says, that's so cool, Connie. I hope it's good. I just don't have enough family. My daughter goes with her dad. Okay. And I realize that that's probably a thing too, especially like for my husband and I, as we've gotten older, the past several years, we've not been where we could spend the holidays with family. So it's just been him and I. So we've just kind of done our own thing, so to speak. I remember one year at Thanksgiving, we were in Okeechobee, Florida, and there's a Golden Corral there. So they were open for Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. We were not the only ones that took advantage of the fact that we didn't have to cook Thanksgiving dinner just for two. I would usually buy a pumpkin pie or a cherry pie or an apple pie, something sweet. See, that's where I am. I always took something sweet for gatherings. Rebecca, my son is coming up and it's only a 5-pound dish. I know Connie gets to have her son with her this year for Thanksgiving. It is going to be so cool. Well, I believe we are going to be here, although things are kind of up in the air at the moment. Just going to say that now with the government back open, we knew it was going to happen as soon as the government opened back up, that phone was going to start ringing. So it's just now a matter of, do we get to wait till after Thanksgiving, or is it a hurried up move situation? But we'll find out. It'll all work out, as they say. So, but we do hope to be able to see some of the kiddos. My stepdaughter and her kiddos are going to see a grandmother down in East Texas, but they will be back in time for Thanksgiving. Connie says he's only going to get the 1 day off from work, so I'm super proud he chose to spend it with me. I know. I am so happy for you, Connie. And it does make us feel special, doesn't it? But why wouldn't he want to spend Thanksgiving with his mama? Got to eat up that family time as much as you can. Because we all know that when our kids get grown and start having families of their own, have to start sharing them, don't we? Which really is not a bad thing, but oh, Magic. We always go to my mother's, me and the boys, and it's such a long way since she's 3 houses 3 houses down. Oh my goodness. Yes, I understand that, Connie. He is a little working machine, isn't he? Well, I was just hoping that we would get some different dishes here talking about, things that we like to fix up and take. Oh, I was going to tell you about that sweet potato casserole that my sister-in-law made. Oh my goodness, guys. The first time she brought it, I think we were all trying to see who was going to get to lick the casserole dish she brought it in. And she didn't make a lot of it. In fact, I think like for all of us there, she only made, and y'all are going to think this is funny, a 13x9 pan. But guys, when all of us were at my mom and dad's at one time, there was like 20 or more of us. So that little 13x9 dish just didn't go very far. But I really liked it because I don't care for marshmallows. And so when mom would make the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top, she always held back a little dish for me. Because and a lot of people are like, well, just, scoot the marshmallows off to the side. But no, the marshmallow taste gets all down in the sweet potato dish itself. And I just don't like marshmallows. So anyway, when she started making that dish, that was one of those, okay, Kathy, I don't care what the occasion is, that has to be here. We have giblet gravy and oyster dressing plus the extras. Now, see, I don't go in for any of those fancy dressings. Mine's just a strict plain Jane cornbread dressing with the onions and carrots and sage and onions and celery. Then the seasonings, along with your chicken broth. Mix her all up, throw her in the oven. He's 33, so he has his own life to live as well. Well, I know that, Connie, but all us mamas are super happy when our kiddos choose to come and spend time with us. Hello, Mima Dawn. How are you doing, sweetheart? I hope your Monday started out well. Magic says, the Thanksgivings at my grandparents' when I was little, no sitting room because their house was only three rooms, one with a dirt floor. Wow. And 2 outhouses, 12 kids and all their kids. Lord, it was packed. Oh, my goodness. I know. No, I don't put carrots in my dressings. I promise. I don't put carrots in there. Oh, goodness. Mima Dawn, it's getting ready to be party season, hot and heavy. Do you have that one dish that you take to all your parties, like church socials and family gatherings? Maybe your clubs that you might be a part of? Because, Sunday school classes are going to start having their little parties, and there's going to be school parties if you're still working. I come from Hill folks, real Hill folks. Sweetheart, my oldest daughter's husband will tell you, he is a backwoods Mississippian. And he could tell you some stories too, growing up. Everybody always wants my friend's taters. Well, what's special about her taters? And speaking of taters, Mother knew what her thing was for the family. Now, I know y'all have heard me say this before, but my mother, the kiddos, I don't care if we were coming together for sandwiches or if we were coming together for a full-blown meal. My mom always had to make mashed potatoes for the kids, because nobody can make mashed potatoes like Grandma Grapes. Everybody always wants my fried taters. Oh, not your friends. Okay. oatmeal scotchy cookies or hash brown casserole with potato chips on top. I will have to try that because I love making a hash brown casserole. I never thought about putting the tater chips on top. I have seen where folks will take those, what is it? The little French onion, things that you put in and on top of the green bean casserole. I have seen them do that. A scotchy cookie. How's that different from an regular oatmeal cookie, Meemaw Dawn? Inquiring minds want to know. I love that hash brown dish because there's so many things you can do with it. Oatmeal cookie. Oh, with butterscotch chips. Well, I'll be darned. Oh, your pork chop and tater tot casserole. Yes, I have substituted tater tots every once in a while, especially for the little kids. When I know the little kids are going to be there, yeah, I'll switch out the hash browns and put tater tots in there. They really like that. I remember one year, I don't remember whose child it was because we were at my mother's house. She was the one that I got the idea from. She got it from somebody else. But she made a hash brown casserole dish using the tater tots. And I remember one of the littles said something about, look, brown marshmallows. And it turned out to be taters. Thinking that was my oldest brother's little boy. Granny always made peanut butter balls. Yes. And my mom always made the peanut butter balls. My first husband's mother always made what she called Martha Washington candy. And it was chopped pecans, powdered sugar, butter, obviously, coconut. Because I was thinking about that candy just this morning. And I don't remember what all was in it, but you talk about high sugar. Mm-hmm. And she would, good morning, Cindy. How are you doing? And then she would melt the chocolate, with the brick of paraffin wax in there. And then she would dip it and let it set. Oh my word. And she would make the balls really little because you couldn't handle more than, it had to be small enough to just pop in your mouth one time. You couldn't eat on that thing. Michelle said, my grandma always made me oatmeal cookies with butterscotch chocolate chips. Not chocolate chips, but the chips, yes. Granny always made the peanut butter balls. Meemaw Dawn, Michelle, we used to fight over who got the next batch when we were growing up. Oh, yes. Oh, that's all right, Cindy. I'm just glad that you are here listening to us chitter chatter. We're talking about our favorite dish, or the dish that we are known for and required to take to parties and family gatherings at this time of the year. Hearing this is making you hungry. Well, we aim to please, I've never had a better dressing than Granny's. No one can replicate it. Well, like I said, I've had a sausage dressing, and that might be it. I didn't like the sausage dressing. No. To me, It's just supposed to be cornbread dressing. Cornbread. No, nothing else in there. Just the cornbread. I take whatever she tells me and fix it up. Oh, well, that's good too. But I just think it's, really kind of neat. Oh, yes, Connie said she likes her mama's tea cakes, but she can't make the dressing. That's fit to eat. Well, maybe her specialty is all sweets, Connie. Oh, you do put sausage in your stuffing? See, like I said, I've had it one time. I don't know. I just didn't care for it. Can y'all hear Lacey over there snoring? I'm sorry. I don't think there's any way I can filter that out. Oh, it is our devotional time. Grab my book here. Born into hope. All who put your hope in the Lord will be strong and brave. When I am lacking in hope, where do I go to find perspective? Jesus. Spending too much time focused on my troubles can cause anxiety to rise as I consider my lack of options. But you are full of miracle working power. You have much more clearer perspective than I do. In you, I have a hope that cannot be diminished. You have given me new life in your resurrection power. I no longer need to fear death or its consequences. There is so much anticipation in the glory that awaits me. Eternal life without pain, suffering, or limitations is mine through you. For you are forever kind, full of mercy, and can cover me in compassion, both now and forever. Jesus, you are the hope that I cling to in the long days of waiting. There is no one as wonderful as you. I am so grateful to have been born into your kingdom. Thank you for mercy that covers me every moment of my life. Awaken my heart to the hope that I have in you. Born into hope. Amen. Let's go back up here. Yep, Jimmy D, maple sausage, no other kind. Is it really stuffing or is it dressing? Oh, goodness. Northerners don't make dressing? Well, I guess maybe that's because y'all stuff it in the turkey. I've only seen the turkey with the dressing, stuffed in it, and then it kind of spills on out. I've only seen that one time, and I can't remember if I was it wasn't my grandma, because she didn't like cooking the stuffing in the turkey. Diane says it's stuffing, either inside or outside. It's called stuffing. That's right. Dressing is on the side. Yeah. Well, to me, it doesn't make any difference. I just call it dressing because it does dress up the turkey. And that's what I've always heard in my family. So stuffing. Well, we just always had it on the outside because, no matter how big the turkey was, if you took all the dressing and stuffed it inside of it, number one, you had to make sure it got cooked. Number two, there just didn't seem to be enough. So I know Grandma said she just got to where she started putting hers in the pans because she would make double of what she thought she ought to have. And sometimes even then it still wasn't enough. Plus, it's easier to cook it in the pan than to stuff it inside the turkey. Lana says, I've always called it stuffing, but I've never stuffed it into the turkey. Yeah, I've never stuffed it in a turkey either, but I do know there are some that do that. Too much trouble to put it inside. Maybe that's the reason why I don't do it. But it does make for a pretty place setting, you know. I get the cubes, Arnold's stuffing bread cubes. Oh, well, see, I make up my own. Make up 2-3 pans of cornbread and set out 3 or 4 slices of white bread the night before so it gets good and dried out. And then just go to crumbling and the mixing. Like I said, mine's not fancy. Always did what Grandma did. Now, you know, let's see. Diane said she used the Jimmy Jean's maple. My oldest sister-in-law, she married into a German family. And they did do sausage, but they were known more for putting venison in rather than just regular pork sausage, if they had it. Otherwise, they would put in their German sausage that they would smoke. Everyone in my family will be missing Greg this year because he always made the dressing, and it was the bomb. Yeah, when Mother passed, my youngest daughter was the one that told my mother, you know, one of these days you're not going to be here, Grandma Graves, and one of us needs to know how to make your mashed potatoes. So Mother told her, she said, right there at the end, always put in a little dollop of daisy. Nobody knew because, number one, honestly, you couldn't taste it in there, but there was just something about adding that right at the last minute. She said that she felt like it always made the taters creamier. I didn't care. I just know that they were good. And she would whip them, folks, with the beaters until, I mean, there was not one lump, one little piece of tater that wasn't smashed to smithereens, let me tell you. Didn't eat, all you do is put it in your mouth and swallow. And she always had to make sure she had plenty because afterwards, you know how you have leftovers, sandwich this, sandwich that, sandwich. I chop up thin carrots and celery and onions, cook till it wilts, and slice mushrooms in pieces. Then add the sausage, melt 2 sticks of butter, 2 cups near boiling water, and then mix it all together. Yours is pretty close to mine. Covered with full bake 20 minutes with the full covered in 15 with it off. Yeah. Well, like I said, mine's pretty plain. Just make up my homemade cornbread and let it cool, sit out overnight. Bread stuffing has all the herbs and seasonings in it. Yeah. Excuse me. So does anyone have big Thanksgiving plans, or are you going to be celebrating early with family, or are you going to be celebrating exactly on Thursday? Cooked all the seasonings in its cornbread, yeah. And salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, sage, parsley. And I tell you what, they are not joking whenever they say that a little bit of sage goes a long ways. But several years ago, not that I ever paid that much attention. I mean, I just always go in and get the seasonings that I want. But I saw that now, I think it's McCormick. It might be one of those other ones that has what they call dressing spices. Just like they have Italian seasonings, mixtures up like that for you. All you got to do is just dump it in there. Diane says, my son and his wife will come here again. Oh, that's nice. That really is. Let's see. Oh, Diane says, I am the only one left to make the sweet potato dish with the marshmallows on top. Brown sugar, yes. And your son and wife will be here again. So them and myself and the youngest for dinner. That's great. Oh, listen, if we were home at Mom's house a few days before Thanksgiving, whenever she'd start chopping up all of her vegetables and getting things together like that, the kids loved getting in there and helping Mother. What can I do? What can I do? You want to chop an onion? You want to chop some celery? You want to peel the taters? Yep. You love the chopping? Yeah, you can get a lot of frustration out, can't you? Working that knife back and forth on that cutting board. Oh, speaking of this, talking about squirreling, did any of y'all ever watch whether, I can't remember if it's on Food Network or the Cooking Channel, whichever one would host Worst Cooks in America with Ann Burrell. I was chopping an onion the other day, and I'm one that takes the finger and lets it sit on top of the knife, like this. And I got to giggling, and my son-in-law was in there, and he said, what's funny? Because I was chopping up an onion. And I said, I'm sitting here thinking that if Ann was in our kitchen right now, she'd be over here real quick with her little red pen, because she would always put a red mark on the contestant's finger saying, that finger is not supposed to be up there. If you put that finger up there, I'm going to mark it with a red pen. And she would. And not just one little mark band. She would cover it with that red Sharpie. So like I said, I swirled there for a minute. I spend the holidays with the puppers, and we are quite content. My sons and grandkids all spend it with my ex, their dad. But we all live together, so I get them anyway. Well, that's cool. Yeah, for a long time when I was married to my first husband, my mom and dad and his parents, they didn't live but at the most 10 miles apart. So we would have Thanksgiving lunch at one and then Thanksgiving dinner at the other. And, that was horrible, having to eat two big meals like that in one day. So then we kind of got to switching out where we do one on Thursday and the other one on Saturday. And then my parents and my in-laws would flip, from one year to the next, which made it really, really nice. Especially since everyone in Larry's side of the family loved to go hunting. So the years that we had Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, Then as soon as it was over with, those boys were packed up and heading to the camp so they'd have every minute of the weekend they could to deer hunt. And on the years where we had to have Thanksgiving dinner at his parents' house on Saturday, yeah, their hunting got cut just a little bit short. But it all worked out. Since my son has to drive so far to get here, I take him any way I can get him. That's right, Connie. Take them any way you can get them and enjoy them for the time that they are there. Hello, Mama Gwen. How are you doing? We are talking about food today because it is starting to get to be the holiday party season where everybody is going to be going to parties. And of course, there's always food. So I just wanted to know what everyone is responsible for. You know, what's your go-to dish? What do you take people expect when they know you're coming? So I just want to know, Diane, do you have a go-to dish that you take? As they say, inquiring minds want to know. Seems like the tater casserole is a popular one. I'm going to make cookies, candies, and cakes for Christmas presents this year. Oh, that's nice. We used to, when I was still teaching, I would make one for my classroom, and I would make one for the high school principal's office. Some of you may have made them. Some of you may have seen them. You take a wire coat hanger and you make it into a circle. And then you can tie peppermint candies onto it with that curling ribbon. Or you can get really festive and get the multicolored hard candies and twist tie them on there. One year, my daughter did Tootsie Rolls, you know, the little miniatures, and she tied them on there. Really, really cute. But yeah, I would make one for my classroom. You make them, and they make a pretty little candy wreath. And then, of course, you want to tie some little scissors to it so people can come along and cut their candy off. It was always a big hit. I never had the enjoyment to take anything anywhere. The cooking of it all was left to me for every holiday. I'd have my brother and his family here normally as well, till I couldn't do it. I understand. On Thursday, me and my sister and mom, my three plus Jade and everybody's kids. Oh my goodness. My great grandma used to make candies and cookies for Christmas every year. Yes. I generally bring what we call beans for 10. It's also known as cowboy beans. Oh my goodness. Connie says, I'm coming to your house this year, Gwen. I make a pineapple dessert when family does get together for our family reunion. Everybody seems to like it. See, that's what you're known for. Oh, Connie, Michelle, that's so nice that y'all are going to include her this year. Oh, Diane, I'm sorry. But you know, that's one of the hardest things for me when my kids started growing up, having their own families, not having them all together at Christmas, you know, or Thanksgiving or Easter. I had to start sharing them, and I didn't like that. Yep, didn't like it at all. And up till about 4 or 5 years ago, every Christmas, it didn't matter where I was or my youngest daughter was, I always spent Christmas with her because her birthday's on that day. And I just, you know, I had to be with her. And then the first year that she moved up to Boston, I couldn't be with her. and she couldn't be with me. Oh my goodness, we called and talked to each other on the phone and just cried. And even though we could FaceTime each other, it still wasn't the same. You know what I mean? Oh, it was horrible. Oh, look at that. And all the able-bodied people will go to the attic and get the Christmas stuff to put out. Yep, along with the tree. That's good. Rebecca said, and it's so good, Diane. It's called Pineapple Dream Dessert. I think I found the recipe here on YouTube. It's a no-bake. You use graham crackers for the crust. Oh, that sounds nice. I'm not a pineapple person, but I bet that is pretty good. And I just found out the other day that pineapple is supposed to be really, really good for you if you suffer with arthritis pains. I'm like, well, I think I'll just suffer. Amy, my girls always go other places for Thanksgiving, but we are together Christmas morning every year. We go to my niece's place for Thanksgiving. Well, that's good. I remember one year I had to ask my mom. I said, okay, Mom, you got to choose one this year. You can't have both holidays. So do you want Thanksgiving and all of us be here, and Christmas we all be somewhere else? Or do you want us to all come Christmas and Thanksgiving we all be somewhere else? She wasn't having it. She just wasn't thinking about it. She's like, no, both times, Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's always going to be. Don't make me choose. And then one year, it just kind of fell where we had all been together Thanksgiving. But then that Christmas, we weren't going to be able to make it because my husband had to work. And my brother at the time was a Dallas City police officer. And it just so happened that that was the year that, you know, he wasn't getting Christmas off. So it made her realize that, you know, we were all getting to a point that we just weren't always going to all be together. And so she decided that Thanksgiving, she wanted to be the big family get together. And we did it for as long as we could. We all got together Thanksgiving, no matter where we were or what was going on. My brother, even though they had to swap out holidays and stuff, would make it up to someone saying, hey, look, I'll do double shift, I'll do something, but I gotta be at my mama's on Thanksgiving. I love cooking and baking for huge groups. I always enjoyed it a lot. Well, you know what? I still cannot make, of course, you all know I was raised at a children's home. So when we were taught to cook, everything was in large batches. I mean, huge batches. And when I first got married, it was just my husband and I mean, a pot of beans, yeah, I had enough to feed Cox's Army. White gravy, brown gravy, didn't matter. I had enough that, you know, we could eat on it for a month. Fixing eggs, biscuits. I mean, it was crazy. I didn't know how to cook for just 2 people. You used to start the week before. Oh, yes. Cox's Army, all the Italian pastries and cookies, yum. What recipe did you just look up? Oh, you're talking about your recipe you were talking about a minute ago. Okay. But still, you know, I mean, of course, over the years, I have learned how to cut things down. Yeah, that pineapple dream recipe, cut things down and everything. But I will tell you the one thing that I just cannot make a little bit of, and that is gravy. I always make way more than we need. The good thing is, you know, you can always reheat it or use it in something else. I have, especially my brown gravy. If I've got too much, and I know in the next day or two that we're going to have stew or soup or what my mom would call uh, not trash can soup, but you know what I mean. You start cleaning things out of the refrigerator and it all goes in one pot. Yeah. Our family used to do just Christmas Eve together, but now our primary gathering is Thanksgiving. Yes. Yep, ours too, Meemaw Dawn. And it really was, it really worked out for the best because, you know, you get married and you start having your own babies, and Christmas is refrigerator soup. There you go. I'm going to steal that, Meemaw. Mama Gwen, I'm going to steal that. Oh, goodness. But yeah, it was nice to have Christmas at home, you know, Christmas Eve where it's just you and your little family and you open up little family gifts, and then Santa Claus in the morning, that kind of thing. So yeah, Thanksgiving became our big family gathering. Cindy says, I miss my mom and grandma. Holidays are just not the same now, but me and my sister cook now for me and my youngest son, and we have a small tree, but usually open our gifts as they come in. Oh, that's cool. Lana loves pineapple. Musco soup. Oh my goodness. Yeah, my son-in-law is really good about keeping the refrigerator cleaned out, you know, of leftovers and stuff, because he doesn't mind taking leftovers for lunch. But he'll get to pulling out. Maureen wants it, put it back, put it back, put it back. And he's kind of gotten used to my system because he knows that at some point all of this is going together in the soup. That's right. You know, and we all know it's going to happen. We just don't like to think about it. But eventually our parents are going to be gone, and we have to pick up the mantra. You know, we have to carry on the traditions. And it's sad, but by carrying on those traditions of having the family gatherings, whichever holiday it is that you choose, and having those special dishes that are passed down recipes. Maybe you've altered it a little bit. Maybe you've learned to contribute a dish of your own. That's cool, but I just really think that I think it's important that we spend at least as much time as we can, but especially during the holidays, of getting family together, get caught up, you know. Looks light and fluffy. I'll have to try it soon. Yeah. Well, folks, I know that Hobie Bingo is going to be coming on here in just a little bit, so I'm going to let you go just a few minutes early so that you can get yourself a fresh cup of something to drink, get it pulled up on your phone, get ready, you know, get tagged in there and everything, and settle back and just look at all that gorgeous yarn they always pull up and tease us with, you know. But I just want to say thank you all for joining me this morning. I really do appreciate your time. If you're catching the replay, be sure that you hit that like button and just give me a little hand wave or a heart. I love to know who it is that caught me on the back end. Always remember, folks, to be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your special light they need to see. And we all know that at this time of the year, there's many, many who struggle for whatever reason. So just that smile of letting your light shine can change their day. So be sure to do it. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow at Carrie's Playing Bingo. Love ya. Bye.